So I've been in the fashion industry for about 17 years now. Originally as a fashion designer, I worked for labels in Australia and abroad, and also had my own fashion label for 5 years. It was Celeste Tesaruro, and that was amazing, really successful, lots of stockists. But I got to a point in my journey where I was trying to implement sustainability initiatives at the same time as running a small business and being a one-man band, essentially. And it just didn't work. I ended up becoming my own worst business partner. But that really inspired me to learn and deep dive into, well, how can you be sustainable and have a viable business at the same time? So I studied business. I went over to London and started working as the head of sustainability at a luxury brand over there at the same time as studying sustainability at university. And through working on the job, initially I got that job from my design background and my knowledge of, you know, using particular materials and how to do production processes that I was doing with my own brand. But it was a full company sustainability role. And so I had to do everything from design all the way down to recycling and what we were doing with our waste. So I learned a lot on the job there. And part of that role was I was on British Fashion Council's Positive Fashion Committee. And that was the head of sustainability of all the luxury brands over there. Vivienne Westwood, Kering, Stella McCartney, all the big supermarkets like M&S, Matches Fashion. And we would have these roundtable discussions and talk about the problems that we were having, solutions that we were looking at. And it all became really obvious that everyone was having the same problems and needed the same solutions. So those chats started, you know, morphing into collaborative chats of how can we work together? How can we pool our resources and make this happen? And that was, I think, the inspirational seed that started Sonzai Studios because I realized internationally we're all at the same level and on the same page. I think there's this thing of coming from Australia. You think you're from this tiny little place and you don't know as much as everyone else. But I saw firsthand in London, I knew as much as everyone else at that table. And so that was really inspiring for me and gave me the courage to know that I could do this and know that I could help people. And then the other part of the inspiration was fashion can finally be collaborative because until then, fashion was such a cagey industry. We would never talk about what factories we were working with. We would never want to give any of that information away. And now everyone's doing the opposite. They're publishing who their factories are and wanting people to work in a way that's more sustainable to get everyone on the same page. So I returned back to Australia and just had brands reaching out to me who wanted some help with their strategies and to do what I did with Roller Murray for them. So that's how Sonzai Studios was born, very organically. I didn't go out there and search for it. I didn't have a website, I think, for about a year. And then it just rolled from there.